Welcome back to College Football Game Night Live.
Welcome back to the College Game Night Show, where we're heading now down to Ashland, where the Southern Oregon Raiders open their season against the Simpson Redhawks, a conference rival that they're going to be seeing later on in the next couple of months in October. The big storyline, though, heading into this game, into the year 3 of the Burke-Brown era, the Raiders are the healthiest and the strongest they've ever been. Don't believe me? Watch this. Don Montiel, play action, fools the camera, fools the defense, but doesn't fool Brandon Barthel. The snag, 60-yard house call on the Raiders' first offensive snap. Moving on, Simpson, bad snap on the punt, turns into great field position for the Raiders and for Gunnar Yates on the short driveway into the end zone. His first touchdown of the season and 40th of his career, joining his dad in the 40-touchdown club. Redhawks, though, finally getting some movement a little bit later on, inside the 30, looking to cash the check at the bank, but denied by Damon Carter, one of 2 Raider picks on the day. D coordinator Tyler Stinn loving the effort. By the way, we're still in the first. Time winding down. Montiel, sightseeing in the pocket, finds Trevor. Just go. 48-yard strike. SEU takes a 25-0 lead into the half. A strong start, to say the least, but there's still plenty of football left. Never take any chances. The Raiders wasting no time to get back into it. Montiel, another strike to Barthel, and Barthel gonna do the rest. 53-yard touchdown after the catch and run, his second of the day, and the Raiders offense firing on all cylinders. Ensuing possession for Simpson. Spencer Cuffle back from the injury a season ago and picked yet again. Hard to shake off the rust against a tough defense. Later on, Rieger, Sayer in at QB, and there he goes, off to the races, one of his 2 rushing touchdowns in the game. And then the very next Raider possession, it's Montiel back at it, looking, waiting, hiking, there we go. Finding this guy again, it's Barthel. These guys might just have a true special connection this season, folks. The Raiders scored 2 more times in the 4th without allowing a single point on defense, and that's what we call in the business a shutout. A 59-0 beatdown. Head coach Burke Brown impressed afterwards with the effort across the board, especially the offensive line.
I think the offensive line, you know, they continue to grow and come together, and they put together a great performance tonight. The way we ran the football behind them was awesome, whether it was Gunnar Yates, whether it was I Sound Fresh, whether it was, you know, Cohen Coloma, whether it was Logan Whitlock. I mean, it didn't matter who was back there. Those guys were giving those, our offensive line was giving those guys space to run.
Well, the defense gets 2 takeaways and gives Simpson absolutely nothing. Can't say enough about the offense, though. 59 points on a first game of week 1. That's impressive. Getting it done through the air and the ground. The 4 touchdowns from Montiel, Yates, Sayer, and Cohen Kalaloma combined for 4 rushing touchdowns. The Raiders put up 542 yards on offense while averaging almost 9 yards a play. That is dominant. Luke Doan joins us with a look into the offensive success and what the team will need to work on heading into this week.
In their first game of the 2025 season, the SOU Raiders dismantle the Simpson Redhawks 59-0. But that doesn't mean there's not things to work on going into the next week. I was able to catch up with head coach Burke Brown after the game, and he told me it's the pre-snap things that this team will be focusing on.
But the pre-snap penalties, the mistakes that happen a lot on a first game, missing a guy out on a special team, things like that, we've just got to fine-tune our operation, I think, as a whole. And we'll be able to do that within this next week. We'll have the benefit of having, you know, an opener, whereas Western Oregon's their first game is against us.
Against the Simpson offense that struggled all 4 quarters, a good chunk of their first downs were gifted to them, something that will bite the Raiders against tougher opponents like Montana Tech or Montana Western. 4 of the Raiders' 6 penalties called on the defense. However, it only gave the Redhawks 40 yards. But let's talk about what this team did really well, and that was spreading the love on offense. 5 Raiders finding the end zone, and 6 guys getting 6 or more touches. The Raiders didn't even need to work their All-American running back Gunnar Yates. Brown telling me at the start of the year, their goal was to help take the load off of him. Montiel, who had the most passing yards in a first start as a Raider since 2016, says a lot of the credit goes to the guys catching those passes.
I mean, I missed him on a couple, and they made me look good. Barthel, he goes for a hat trick with 3 touchdowns. It's pretty special to get him going. But no, I have a lot of confidence in all these guys. I trust them to go make plays for me, and yeah, so I think we're going to have a good, looking forward to the rest of the season.
Brown was also impressed with freshman wideout Donovan Glover.
I think as he adapts to the speed of the game, he's going to be a focal point of our offense, and we're going to make people respect his ability. And I think in turn what that'll do is that'll open things up for the run game at Gunner.
He's been showing off his athleticism all fall camp and did Thursday with a tough catch. He'll be an exciting player for years to come, especially as he gets more time on the field. In Ashland, I'm Luke Doughton.
It's great to see such a strong start for SOU and so many options for Montiel to throw to, and the running back position as well, extremely deep. So next week for the Raiders as they head to Monmouth for their first road game against Western Oregon, renewing a historic rivalry. 77th annual meeting for these two teams against the Wolves, and the first time these two teams will play in 15 years. Western Oregon, a well-established program, will be a much tougher challenge compared to Simpson, who is only in their second season as a varsity program. Chances are we'll see more of Gunnar Yates in action, who had only 5 touches in this past week's game, only 43 yards as well, along with, of course, that lone touchdown. For his teammate in the backfield, fresh Izan, it's a little bit of a homecoming. The graduate transfer spent 4 years in a different set of red and white uniforms. Take a listen to what he has to say about facing Western Oregon once again.
For me, it'll be very, very exciting. It's going to be a lot of emotions, but I'm working on keeping those in. But getting with these guys, man, first game is always lovely. Getting to build with them and going back home for me is always going to be fun. You know, get to test myself with these great group of guys and just stick it to my old team.